Okay, today I'm going to show you how I made this Mudflap push stick. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is bring up Google and search Mudflap Girl. Just going to grab an image and copy it. I'm going to bring up my Photoshop, and in Photoshop is where I'm going to resize everything, lay it out how I want it, the size I want it and everything. So here's my layout. I've made mine about, I think it's about 6.5 tall, and I think it was like 10.5 or 11 long. So then all you have to do, once you get your size and everything, I'm just going to print it off. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is grab yourself a piece of material. I've got some 5/8 MDF already cut to size. You'll have to cut your size to whatever size you're doing your push stick in order for it to fit. My push stick is going to be 6 3/4 by 10 3/4. So I have a piece that's 7.5 by 12.5 or something like that. Like I said, it's a piece that I've already used for my other push stick. So you'll notice I've cut off all the excess paper, and in this corner I cut it right on the line. That way I can line it right up on here, and I'll be good to go on that corner. So what I'm going to use to stick this on is just some 3M high strength spray adhesive. Just spray the back and I'll put that on. Okay, so now it's time to bring it over to the bandsaw, and we'll cut out all the way around this. Okay, so I almost forgot. You're going to want to use a smaller blade. believe I've got a 1/4 inch blade. So I'm taking off my resaw blade right now. I'm going to throw that on and then we'll get cutting. Okay, switched over my blade and we're ready to rock and roll. Just a side note, if anybody's interested on how to set up a bandsaw blade, I'll probably be making a video on that real quick here shortly. So you can be looking out for that. Anyways, let's start cutting this push stick. Okay, so I've got this whole thing cut out. Now what I need to do is drill some holes for this inner pieces. The last time I tried to cut this out, I think I might leave it this time. Just leave it in there. And just cut out the other two areas and see how that looks. So let me get set up on the drill press, drill a couple holes for those, and we'll get to one section I'm going to scroll saw, and one section I'm going to use a coping saw. So in case any of you don't have a scroll saw, you can see it can be done with a coping saw as well. So let me get set up. Okay, so I guess we can start off with the coping saw. If you guys don't have a scroll saw or a coping saw, you'll need to get one or the other. These coping saws aren't very expensive. I think this one was like $4 or $5. And what you do is you just take off one end, thread it through, and start sawing. Okay, so I finally got this thing set up. Make sure when you're drilling your holes, you get it large enough. Mine were just one size too small. I mean, it just barely did not fit, so I had to drill holes again using the same holes. But just make sure you remember you have a pin at the top and bottom that catches to hold this blade into your saw, and you've got to make sure that you can fit that pin down through the hole. So make sure you get a hole big enough. So anyways, from here we're just going to start sawing. Now what I'm doing while I'm sawing, I'm kind of just blowing the dust away so I can try and follow my line. Okay, so now the other section I'm going to do on my scroll saw. Okay, so we've got this thing all cut out now. The only thing left to do is to clean it up by sanding it. Now you can use a sanding drum, you can use a spindle, hand sanding, drum sander, whatever you have you can use. I have a Dremel that I'm going to clean up a lot of it, and then I'll be doing some hand sanding, so that's what I'll be using. Okay, so after you're all done sanding, the only thing left to do is to take off the paper. And sometimes this stuff is hard to peel off, sometimes it's not.
Found as long as I take it slow, I can get most of it off without it ripping apart. It's starting to rip apart right there. But however you want to get it off, just take out the paper.
Okay, so there it is. This is my second one I've built now. You'll notice when I was cutting this on the bandsaw, there was more hair on this and everything. I've taken it out just because when I grip it, you know, this is actually pretty comfortable. With all this hair, it was the first one I ever did. You know, the hair got in the way and everything. So then I started dropping it down just to the last hair, and then my palm fits right in there, and it's very comfortable. This size is like perfect for me, so it's going to be trial and error for you guys. It's maybe too small or too large for you, but this is comfortable for me. Play around with the size until it feels right for you.